All right, I was really busy this like last quarter, I guess, with work and stuff like that. So I didn't actually have a chance to vote in the Goodreads like top category choice awards, and I haven't seen the winners yet. So we're gonna kind of do like a reaction video on what won and my initial thoughts on it. So let's go. Fiction, The Wedding People. It's actually on my TBR. I currently have it. We'll see if I get through it this year or if it's the beginning of next year. But I've heard really good things, so this one makes sense. Historical fiction, The Women, 100% agreed, yes. Mystery and thriller, God of the Woods. I actually have heard a lot about this. This one is on my TBR, but it's like months out, so I'll let you guys know. Romance, Funny Story. Yeah, okay, I can get behind that. There were a lot of really good romance books this year, but I feel like Funny Story just hit it out of the ballpark at the beginning, and nothing else could really compare after that. Romantasy, House of Flame and Shadow. Okay, well, I'm still on part 3 of the ACOTAR books, so I don't know if I'm going to get to this one, but I mean, it makes sense. Fantasy, Somewhere Beyond the Sea. Oh, this is the author of the House on the Cerulean Sea, so I still haven't read that one, and I haven't read the rest of that series, but I've heard obviously good things about it, so yet another one that's on my TBR. Science fiction, The Mystery of Time. Haven't heard of that one. I guess there weren't really any like that I knew of really well-known sci-fi books this year that seemed to take over all of Book Talk, so I guess I'll have to look at this one. Horror, Stephen King. You Like It Darker. Of course, Stephen King is like the winner of the horror section, so that makes so much sense. Debut novel, How to End a Love Story. I saw this everywhere, so that does actually make a lot of sense. I haven't read it yet, so if you have, let me know your thoughts. Audiobook, Julia Whelan with Funny Story. Of course, she is phenomenal. Between the Funny Story and The Women, those both were narrated by Julia Whelan, who is also a phenomenal author. Check her out, but that makes sense. Young adult fantasy, Ruthless Vows. Interesting. Okay, hold on. We're gonna have to see what else was runners up, because I felt like Ruthless Vows, everyone disliked. Okay, Reckless almost won, and Heartless Hunter. Those both, yeah. Okay, Ruthless Vows does take my pick of those top ones in the young adult series. Young adult fiction, Heartstoppers, of course. Nonfiction, The Anxious Generation. This one is on my to read. I have heard phenomenal things about it, so excited that that made it. Memoir, The Third Gilmore Girl. I have heard a lot about this one as well, so again, it makes sense. And then history and biography, The Bookshop, The History of the American Bookstores. Interesting. So basically the moral of the Goodreads story is it's a popularity contest, and it's also highly influenced by Book Talk. But in this case, like, I think they actually all were phenomenal picks. None of them really were surprising. The only one I guess that was a little bit more was young adult, which I explained. I do also think it helps that Funny Story came out first, and then like the rest of the romance books came out. So maybe there's that as well. Anyway, those were my initial reactions on the 2024 Goodreads Choice Awards. What were your guys' thoughts? Let me know in a comment.